Hey, what's up guys, Riv here. So just when you thought the recent Gamergate related drama was starting to run dry, we got some crazy stories to cover in this video. Beginning with Black Myth Wukong. This is a much anticipated release for later this summer, and it's developed by the Chinese developer Game Science. Now recently, this development team has made a wild set of allegations where they claim that the woke consulting firm Sweet Baby Inc., in their words, attempted to extort them for $7 million worth of consulting fees, or, if they don't comply with this, face the consequences of having diversity issues in their games. This is a crazy story, and once again, Sweet Baby Inc. finds itself in the center of controversy, either due to their incompetence or their employees, or in this case, probably all the above. So who is Sweet Baby Inc. for those who are not familiar? Well, it's a woke consulting firm who promises a great deal of DEI initiatives, and they consult with various game studios, and they try to figure out how to make the game as diverse and inclusive as possible. And their track record is not very good. You can see they provided consulting advice for the game Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League with their collaboration with Rocksteady, and that absolutely tanked. In fact, Sweet Baby is so ashamed of this, they recently removed Suicide Squad from their announced projects on their public website. And yeah, why would you want to collab with a firm like this? If you're a Chinese game developer, why would you want to work with Sweet Baby Inc., whose latest collaboration cost Warner Bros. $200 million? They almost tanked Warner Bros. Because their collab with Rocksteady was a major red flag for everyone. People know that the games that Sweet Baby Inc. work on are likely going to be infected with a bunch of DEI bullshit that nobody wants. And that definitely affected the sales of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So if you're already wary as a Chinese game developer of the terrible history Sweet Baby Inc. has with their clients, you could also be very wary of the behavior of their employees. We have a whole compilation of 2 employees here, beginning with the Lego Butts individual. Do you remember him from the previous videos from months ago? This individual said all kinds of disparaging things about white people, about Jews, saying all Jews in this tweet right here. I mean, if you're a Chinese consulting firm, do you even want to ask what this person's view of Chinese people are at this point? Like, you obviously know it's probably not very good. And on top of that, you have people like Chris Kindred, whose comments started the entire beginning of the Sweet Baby Inc. controversy when he got his followers to report the then very small Steam group Sweet Baby Inc. detected, and with the Streisand effect, blew that group up. And on top of that, this is the same person who mocked Akira Toriyama after his passing. Crazy people. Why would you want to hire these people to work on your game? It seems like a very bad business decision and also a lot of headaches. And on top of that, Chris Kindred is also dealing with a current controversy involving Smash JT, the YouTuber, because allegedly Chris Kindred contacted his former employers because he didn't like being criticized in YouTube videos. Yeah, that's a story for another day, but returning to Black Myth Wukong, like I said, a lot of people are looking forward to this game, and it's also followed by these claims that Sweet Baby is trying to extort them for $7 million. And this game has gotten praise from Hideo Kojima, who said this: "This title has been on my mind since I saw the first trailer about 3 years ago. Black Myth Wukong, its original look, design, coloring, effects, and presentation have an outstanding sense of style that sets it apart from other games. I've also been eagerly following Game Science, the development team. Finally, its release has been confirmed. The theme of Monkey King Sun Wukong is also familiar for my generation. I'm looking forward to it." So that's very high praise from someone like Hideo Kojima, not only for the game, but the team developing it. That's high praise. But people in the comments were leaving rude replies like this, saying, "Seeing you promoting and praising a game studio with such a fervent history of sexism and hatred is really disappointing to me." Now, that might be a bit confusing to you. You're like, what's going on? Because this person makes these bold claims with no proof. But if you do some research, here is what they are referring to. It's an article from IGN. There's actually a pair of articles saying this: how Black Myth Wukong developers' history of sexism is complicating its journey to the West. What kind of sexism are we talking about here? Well, their evidence is basically some possible innuendos around the office in terms of jokes and innuendos in the game, which they then say, well, this might be proof of a culture of ingrained sexism in game science. So they're making assumptions and leaps and bounds over innuendos around the office and in the game. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And of course, as you might expect, the author of this IGN article is private on social media, just like every other author of these hit pieces on developers and games. They make these incendiary posts and articles about these studios and games and then go private and avoid any accountability and just basically keep their head low until people stop paying attention to them. But moving forward, that article and the interaction with Hideo Kojima would be referenced by this post, translated by this user saying this: Chinese media, Black Myth Wukong refused to be extorted $7 million by Sweet Baby. The reason why the team behind Black Myth Wukong has been subjected to persistent sexist attacks and slander since their first promotional video is because they have consistently refused political correctness guidance and rejected the extortionate guidance fees of millions of dollars demanded by these political correctness teams. Actually, such teams are quite common in Europe and America. They interfere with works like Assassin's Creed, Dying Light 2, Stay Human, and God of War by pushing for politically correct female protagonists. These changes are the direct result of the interference and guidance of such teams. Game science teams refuse to communicate with these groups and reject their interference. Most importantly, they refuse to pay the exorbitant $7 million in guidance fees. This is the direct reason why they are being attacked and slandered. Some justifications are based on the team's lack of diversity or representation, which doesn't align with the political correctness standards. A typical example is an article by a major IGN writer criticizing Hogwarts Legacy and refusing to evaluate or promote it due to its alleged lack of political correctness. Very, very based if true. This is the opinion of these developers over at Game Science. They sound like they're cooking. And on top of that, if these allegations are true, Sweet Baby has gone into another level where they are attempting to basically force these companies, including Chinese companies, into giving them millions of dollars to inject their DEI initiatives through their woke consulting, and at the cost of what? Potential sales, because they are a blight on the scene. They're a company where if they are attached publicly to a game, people are going to avoid that game because Sweet Baby has such a bad reputation currently. And also this idea that they might extort someone for money or put pressure on someone to hire their consulting firm, that is not as crazy as it sounds. Of course, like I said, these are allegations, but Sweet Baby has a history of this sort of thing. And it goes back to the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., Kim Belair, because in the past, only a few years ago, she has made very similar claims and suggestions to other people in the industry that they should put a ton of pressure on these companies to hire them under the threat of cancel culture and what might happen to them if they don't comply with DEI initiatives.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
Seeing that, I think a lot of people can understand at least where the basis of these claims could be coming from. It's not exactly out of character for Sweet Baby to be doing this sort of pressure guidance where they're trying to force people to hire them under the threat of some greater cancel culture threat. But anyways, Black Myth Wukong, there is a lot of hype around this game, and it's set to release in August of this year. And a lot of people are praising not only the game and some of the promotional trailers for it, but also just the development team, who seems to be actively against cancel culture, political correctness, what have you. And guess what? That's what gamers want. They don't want Sweet Baby. They don't want DEI. They want good games and developers who reject that nonsense. It goes a long way. I am glad that a studio can recognize that their potential customer base is catering towards what they're offering, not what Sweet Baby's offering, not what DI initiatives are offering, what gamers actually want, to get this political correctness out of the gaming sphere entirely. And for Sweet Baby Inc., they just can't avoid controversy, and it's all self-inflicted at this point. It's all their own actions, whether it's as a company or through its employees. When it comes to the consulting they give various studios, they flop. Like Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. That was a major, major flop, and they openly were promoting themselves as the consulting firm responsible for working with Rocksteady in the production of that game. And as soon as it flops, well, they remove it from their public website and their list of projects and basically act like it never happened. And on top of that, you have the actual employees at Sweet Baby. They are off the wall. They're saying crazy stuff on social media, saying reckless, racist things, while also chastising a random Chinese studio for not hiring them and their woke initiatives. It is ridiculous. And on top of that, like I hinted at earlier, one of the employees, Chris Kindred, is dealing with their own situation right now where they're trying to get people in trouble with their employers by contacting them because the person in question dared to criticize their public behavior in a YouTube video. But like I said, that is a topic for another day. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.